don't care. I'm impromptu.
Of course you are.
Well, we are fucking gonna die this year. And I don't mean that because Jeff Meacham called the watch long event schedule, the We Gonna Die schedule, because I'm calling every damn show under the sun. But what do I mean by that? Let me talk to you as we're on the 24th day of the new year. Happy New Year to you all from ATW. It's the first time we're back in impromptu out of nowhere because I do this shit whenever I want to. We have endured the New Year show from Noah, where Kota Ibushi blew out both his egos against Marufuji and Manabu Soya challenged Strong Style against Keno. We have also seen at Wrestle Kingdom the crowning of an inaugural global heavyweight champion. El Desperado beats his rival Hiromu. There was respect found between Kazuchika Okada and Bryan Danielson, and Naito achieved his destino, while Shingo and Tama reminded us what it means to be never openweight champion. We look at the WWE where the structure has changed dramatically, with The Rock now Triple H's boss, part of the board of directors for TKO, and Raw has officially been determined next year to go to Netflix. And then you look at the rebirth of TNA that truly showed that they were hard to kill. Now that the system rules the show, since Moose beat Alex Shelley and Trinity has lost her glow, since Jordan Grace reclaimed the TNA Knockouts World title. And of course, we saw so much more with Alex Hammerstone, with the Grizzled Young Vets, with the return of Decay, dethroning MK Ultra. And here we stand on the countdown to the Royal Rumble, the launching pad on the road to WrestleMania, while AEW is trying to restore the feeling, bringing back the ranking system, and where Samoa Joe, who's been challenged by Hook, now demands anybody who wants to face him prove your worth and show it. While Jon Moxley has issued a mission statement, keep up. Why do I say and ramble all these things? Simply put, because they all come down to one thing: all things wrestling. And that doesn't include Ring of Honor trying to determine a brand new Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion, but I digress. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again. We are back, bitches. The AEW been proud to the first session of 2024 because I chose to do so. And it's always a pleasure being here with you all virtually when you watch this whenever you can, at night, at day, at evening, during a show, or during your break. Appreciate you always. I am the simple man of the simple brand, the voice of the gym, and a proud member forever of the ATW fam, because we are fam. There is no leader. And my name is Noah Foster, forever great professional wrestling. Damn it! And I don't digress anymore. And with me, as always, is my all-elite brother since day zero, fellow member of the ATW crew, the KING King, Anthony. Anthony, it's been a long dead time since we actually got this stupid thing off the ground just because of fatigue and just because of life. But it's good to see you once again on this platform for the first time as we bring it back for 2024 in pure, simple fashion. How you been, man? How's the new year been for you? In and out of professional wrestling. And Jesus.
When I've said this once, and I'm going to say it again, 2024 is the landscape of change in pro wrestling, and all of that you have mentioned. We're only 24 days in, people. I mean, imagine what's in store for us for the rest of this year alone.
I shudder. I shudder. I literally shudder to think what could be ahead in and out of the key 4 companies of 5. I'm perfectly honest, because Ring of Honor is still a thing, and I do think they are trying to really bring that more to fruition. But again, we got a lot to talk about already, and we're going to, of course, pretty much discuss the World Rumble. But for the first time in a long time, it feels far beyond one-dimensional too. So I think without further ado, okay, let's get right into it. Might be the shortest, might be the longest, might be as before we pass out. Who knows? Before we begin, of course, I want to give a shout out to the entire AEW family, including not limited to our inquirer, Eric, I say, Preacher Man, Casey Flynn, of course, the lovely and the darling Cindy G, our enforcer, Lex, our queen in Megan Chiba, Amara Jade. Continue to follow her journey, folks. Jade, cheers to you as always. And she continues to prove that Jade is far more worth than gold. And you can catch some of her recent action on Spinebuster TV, courtesy of YouTube. So if you haven't already, please follow Amara Jade. Nothing but love to you, my pal. Hope to see you again on this platform soon. And of course, the newest members that joined from the mod squad of our own Sienna Chanel, in Jose and Josh. Appreciate both of them. The entire family. Appreciate all of them. Even Crazy James, who's even back on the scene discussing wrestling now that we finally have put the past behind us. So I think without further ado, why don't we just go ahead and just start talking stuff and get right into it. I think the first thing we should definitely focus on is looking at the beginning, but also what got us here. 2023 was an absolutely tremendous year. We have got so much from everybody that year. It felt like a whole new industry of endless possibilities. And now in 2024, they're quite literally trying to raise the bar. And it starts with what you call reshaping the landscape. And I think the first aspect of reshaping the landscape really comes down to free agents. So let's go ahead and briefly look at the free agent side of things, shall we? As we learned so far, we know one free agent is officially now decided, and that is the virtuosa, Deonna Purrazzo, who has officially become All Elite as of the beginning of this year. And my screen was probably her from the other side of California, courtesy of Jeff Beacham's ears. But I digress. Of course, we still have so many other free agents to figure out. Of course, we talk about where Mercedes Moné will end up, will Kamille might end up. And then we add to that pool, not just about WWE contracts not yet up for renewal yet because Drew McIntyre hasn't signed a contract. Kazuchika Okada is leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling after giving 18 years of his life to that company and leading it now, his own legendary legacy for the last decade. Just want to put that out there. I'm just saying. But that being said, we look at the free agent market. We think about these people, where they could end up, where their strengths could be. We think about, okay, could they work at our companies? And is it better to be here or another? Now, I spoke verbatim about Kazuchika Okada on Open Mic Night last week, folks. You can go check that out personally. Of course, hosted by the Renegade, JJ Williams. JJ, appreciate it as always. So, King, I just want to get some general thoughts from you. Looking at the free agent market right now, where it could be going, and still speculation galore with other people, including Stardom, which I didn't even talk about with the dismissal of Donna Mundo at the Stardom show, where the women of the world will play their own way on their own, with the exception of Mai Sakurai that wants to continue to follow Julia. Julia started a very strong women's champion during incredible bout with Mega and Bane, and her future is still very unknown. Now that Micah leads Stardom, congratulations. And Mayu Iwatani is still IWGP Women's Champion during an incredible match with Syuri, who, again, the emotion, the strength, the passion. Syuri will get there, I believe. If not her, Utami Hayashita. Just saying it out there. And I hope Mayu does do more with this title. It pissed me off when I was at Wrestle Kingdom. But go ahead and give me some of your general thoughts. First off, we know the virtuosa. You know her, of course. I talk about her greatness all the time. And we just saw what she's capable of doing in a face-to-face segment, black and white, color galore. That was one of the best things I've seen so far this year. What's your thoughts on the free agent market? What's your biggest, suspension of disbelief of who could go where or who could become a free agent? And how do you feel about the virtuosa now creating a new era in All Elite Wrestling?
There's two names that you left off, which I talked about on our watch-along that just concluded here not too long ago. Yeah. Gabe Kidd is also its contract is about to expire here pretty soon. ELP's contract is about to expire by the end of the month. And of course, we know about Tama Tonga's situation. I mean, he's on it, he had his last New Japan match or whatnot. So, I mean, let's see if I can predict of where they're going to go in my speculation. Of course, we all know about Deonna, which she has made just within a splash. She's already made the women's division her own of an impact, so to say. I mean, she's already going dive into Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship, which that match is yet to be official.
Well, of course.
But now, with one free agent out the way, that's Deonna to AEW, we still got Kamille, we still got Mercedes, we still got Okada, we still got Drew, which you said he has not re-signed, which I still find that odd. Of course, now with, TKO and this whole Endeavor thing, and now, Raw going to Netflix and The Rock joining the board of directors, which we will talk about. Drew has not re-signed, which I believe he'll stay because really I don't see him jumping anywhere else. He done it once before. I just don't see him doing it again. I can see him stay put.
Yeah.
Mercedes. Oh boy, I even tweeted this out yesterday. I even tagged Sean Rossett, which thank you, Sean Rossett, for quoting my tweet. Appreciate that, to clarify everybody else on Twitter that has kept asking this man, where is Mercedes going to go? Now, I'm going to give it from my own mouth, my own word, to reiterate what Sean Ross Sapp has said.
What would that be?
And that is, the summary breaks down like this. As of August, there were talks. That fell apart. Then there were talks with her in WWE. That fell apart, but that had been friendly. And as of this month, in the first day of the new year, January 1st, 2024, some within her camp have told Sean Ross Sapp and even Andrew Zarian from Matt Man Podcast has said that they expect, and they expect from her camp to go to AEW. And that has been the talking point. And then even teases and more teases from not just Sean Ross Sapp, but Andrew Zarian as well. Even teased a picture of Mercedes and then Mone. Right. Folks, I hate to break it to you, but if they keep on going with this, it's most likely going to be true, especially from Andrew Zarian and Sean Ross Sapp, who are the two of the most credible names in wrestling journalism. Stop getting your hopes up. She's not going to be at the Rumble. She is expected to be all elite. When? We don't know. That has yet to be confirmed. But she is expected to go to, repeat these three letters with me, people, AEW.
Well, I'm just a simple man, but of course, I always believe by the simple philosophy, seeing is believing. What you read is reported. What you hear is speculated. What you believe is opinionated. Because until we see an official press release or an all-leak graphic or Mame Todicon, here's the crazy tweet as he does. Here's the screen cap, folks. Do with that what you will as a meme. I dare you. Cindy, Lex, you hear me?
Oh.
I dare you. Do it.
Get it from me, please, please.
And I don't need to hear Eric, which is why I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm just kidding, Eric. I know you're going to make me pay virtually, but I did warn y'all in the chat I could do this from out of nowhere, didn't I? It's a big week.
He did warn y'all. Come on now. Y'all should be used to this.
ATW weekly chat forum, but I digress. Anyway, but yeah, it's one of those things where, again, WWE is trying to create the future, but they still lend a lot towards the biggest names of the game. There's nothing else not to fine-tune them, but to use them for branding, for outreach. Mercedes Mone, previously shaped by the WWE, to be perfectly honest, Sasha Banks was a boss, but she defined herself as a boss in WWE. Speculation abounds. She is still pretty much more unknown than Carmen Sandiego. So as far as I'm concerned, I really don't know where she could go. She is the most unknown to me. I look at these other names and I figure about Tama Tonga. He's got the personality. He's got the passion. He could be a single star wherever he goes.
Yep.
I could honestly see him going to either WWE or TNA because I do think AEW biggest problem, and it's not just AEW, but I think this is where AEW stems a lot from. They add more versus trying to build off of what they had or what they began with. And I think some of that has lost the shuffle. How many times for Bam do we talk about one particular original that still feels like he doesn't seem like where he belongs? Wardlow!
Wardlow with the UK? Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I just think that the AEW doesn't need to sign more male-eccentric talent, but I do think they need to put their biggest focus this year on the women's division. And I think this year they're really trying to, which is why I look at these names down here, and I do think that Kamille would be a very unique standout, but I also know lately how NXT, for what it's worth, is really fine-tuning the women's division top to bottom. And with Ava Raine, The Rock's daughter, now the freaking general manager of NXT, who would have thought you would see that crazy nonsense, right? It really leads me to believe they're going to really try and push more focus on women in WWE. Again, Triple H is at the helm, not Vince McMahon anymore. Keep that in mind, folks. Yep. But I do think, and I always say all the time, AEW has the potential. The depths of Ring of Honor, the potentials in AEW, because I do believe they should stay separate as far as the women's divisions go. TNA, still a fucking leader. Don't care what you tell me. And they just signed Sarah Brookside, by the way. Congratulations. Who got her first win at TNA to kill. We'll talk about here in a moment. And Stardom is still the leader globally. And at this point, they're losing some major players if this is to be. But focusing on Mercedes Moné, unless WWE forks over the cash, I just don't see her returning. I don't.
Nope.
I know her and Bailey want to do one more run, maybe one more match. I know we'll talk about Bailey here more verbatim in a sec. But right now, Mercedes Moné, I think she's going to go anywhere else besides WWE. I really do.
Yep, because it's like she made her name herself outside of it. And of course, she, was supposed to win the NJPW Strong Women's Championship. But we all seen what happened last year at Battle in the Valley with her match against Willow. And that injury took a little bit of a turn, in which I thought Willow should have done more with the title. But I digress. But Kamille, I can see Kamille having like an excursion somewhat. Have her go to Stardom for a little bit. Fine tune it. If you think about it. I mean, her work in NWA is not going to be touched. It's not. Like, she's done more with that Women's World Championship more than anything in NWA. But I feel like, her going to Stardom and do some more fine tuning, I wouldn't mind that. I would not mind that at all. I mean, of course, there has been reports of that she's expected to go to WWE. If that's the case, then of course WWE picked up a big signing if that is the case.
Well, I mean, they just picked up Maddie Wazowski, a student up on the Rosa, who, of course, returned, and Freedom Women's Wrestling, Serena Deeb, of course, finally returned since 2022. Yay. And shout out to Colin King and Cora Jade, who are out with leg injuries. ACL and CL is confused, but they'll be out for several months. So on behalf of AEW crew, please, ladies, take care of yourselves and get well soon. Can't keep a king down. And Cora Jade, so much damn potential. The mean girl of NXT will rise again. Even I can believe in Cora Jade. But yeah, with Kamille, I remember she did say that she wants to go fine-tune herself. She wants to push herself to a bigger scope, be that role model, be a bigger star. And I think she has the personality, since she was finally able to show it in NWA, damn it, and definitely has the prowess to be something big. And I could definitely see her starting out in NXT. Kind of like what they're doing with Jade Cargill, and she hasn't had a single match yet. And it wouldn't surprise me if she debuts this Saturday after being in the friggin' Art Dungeon 2.0 with Natalya and Tyson Kidd. I'm just saying. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I look at this list. Realistically, the most number one thing I could see coming out of these lists of free agents, I see Kamille going to WWE. Everything else is still speculation to me. That being said, Julia, I think it's like the midpoint of the year that her contract runs up. She's still W Strong Women's Champion. Continues to test herself. Incredible match, by the way, against Trish Adora at Battle in the Valley. Great follow up there. And Trish Adora, stand up NJPW Academy, stand up the industry. Her day will come. She is tremendous. Battle of the Valley was a tremendous show too, by the way, folks, in case you didn't watch.
Yes, it was.
It's one of those things where Julia, she has the presence, the beauty, beautiful insanity, and the wrestling know-how that she could be big anywhere. So it's one of those things where the industry is her oyster. And at the end of the day, we do not dictate these people's careers or the human beings' choices in life, because let's just call it as we see it. Here, my fellow Americans, here in the United States of America is the land of opportunity. It's where you live the American dream. It's where you go for the ultimate opportunity. It's where you define a new life in the brightest degree possibly. And that's what anybody across the pond or outside the 48 continental states wants to do when they arrive here consistently. And truth be told, a few names out of Japan have done it. Shinsuke Nakamura, despite his booking under Vince.
Yeah.
Asuka, kind of mad, but she's literally building her own arcade back in Japan, okay? And she has gone from video game developer to top WWE superstar, so mad respect. Io Sky, title is meh, but she finally has her spot. Julia definitely could do it, but I still have this nuance in the back of my head. It was part of my diatribe about one particular person I know I want to talk about. And I'm going to say it one more time because I can. Kazuchika Okada. Because when it comes to Japanese professional wrestling talent, WWE, with all due respect to Triple H and the passion for the history and trying to build global organization out of All Japan Pro Wrestling, they fucking squander them.
Yep. They sure do.
So let's just go ahead and talk about the biggest fish in this pond, with all due respect to these names. King, Okada, this is the chapter closing that we thought we'd never see. He is leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. He has successfully defended and vacated the 6-man ever openweight championships as of today at Corrigan Hall. Incredible match against TMDK. They will have their day. He left with this mission statement, though. NJPW is in a crisis, and you all have to figure it out. I think he believes New Japan Pro Wrestling can do that, but he also doesn't want to be content. He doesn't want to become that guy that's just there, done everything, does the same thing over and over. He doesn't want to be a guy that loses that passion for the business. He wants to continue to be happy. He wants to continue to have people be happy about professional wrestling. He wants to continue to make it rain all over the world. Now, I look at it like this. AEW offers flexibility. TNA is a newfound respect and family environment that offers much more flexibility, but a limited paycheck. Because let's be honest here, TNA is still the little guy trying to get the big contract deal. AEW is still bigger. WWE, biggest payday of his life. He's married for life. He's a father, family man, even though his Japanese wife is an actress that already makes more than him. Ayo. So it comes down to me for this. Kazuchika Okada was at WrestleMania 34. He saw Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. We never heard a rebuttal regarding that, but you and I even talked about it. It was so damn underwhelming versus Wrestle Kingdom 10. It was sad. I want Okada to be happy. I want Okada to succeed. I want Okada to be respected. I want Okada booked for the incredible professional wrestler he is. But he has zero resume in the world of superstar sports entertainment. So that said, where at the end of the day, WWE is ruled by the Onai family. Let's just call it what it is. Where do you think Okada should go? And could this be the last stop for him, or could you see Okada return to New Japan?
Man, I'm glad we are touching on the biggest fish in the pond of this free agent market.
As far as we know right now, I mean, God help us.
The words that you said, Okada leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. I never thought I would hear that on this day. I never thought I would hear it in my 29 years of living. I never thought I would hear that in my 25 plus years of watching wrestling. Right? I never will hear those words of Okada leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling, because that is the face of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That is a Japanese wrestling legend, icon, whatever you can call greatness. You can name it right down to a T. When it comes to the three musketeers of New Japan Pro Wrestling, there was Shinsuke Nakamura, there was Hiroshi Tanahashi, and there was Kazuchika Okada. Yep. Tanahashi, as we've seen at Wrestle Kingdom, is your new NJPW World Television Champion, and he's our president, ace president.
I'm about to say, yeah, I didn't even mention that. The ace is the fucking president of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So basically, he's a champion and he's a president. Go figure.
Good Lord.
Shinsuke, yeah, despite what you say about his booking, 2017, anybody with Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam? Just saying. But I still go back and I'm like, dang, his NXT stardom was great. Oh, yeah. And then he got over to the main roster and all of a sudden, botched feud with Jinder Mahal. Underwhelming Mania match that did not even live up to their first match at Wrestle Kingdom with AJ Styles at all. Yeah, simple low blow, people, to ruin it all. And then you have Okada. I thought he was going to stay forever. And then all of a sudden we hear him, and then you sent it in the group chat on Facebook, and I'm like, excuse me? Okada leaving New Japan? No, this is a typo, right?
It's straight from NJPW.
But it was
because you know, I do not follow, read.
You don't exactly.
It was on the fucking website when I opened it up. I was like, what?
But there's now where I'm going to break this down and where the possibilities.
Go for it.
Okada to WWE. I've heard reports that Triple H is making a play, as well he should be, And the caveat he wants to use is a WrestleMania match, since Okada has never got to taste that stage before in his career. But also keep this in mind. With all Japanese talent that has came over from the land of the rising sun to the States, that means they will have to relocate their family to the States, which his wife is a more famous actress, more famous than he is. Like you said, go figure. That comes into play, because what if she doesn't want to come to the States? She wants to stay in Japan. And if that's the case, you got to rule WWE out of the Okada sweepstakes. And now we get to where the most likely scenarios. AEW and TNA, which they have one thing in common. He does not have to leave Japan at all if his wife chooses to remain in Japan. Exactly. He does not have to relocate his family at all. But like you said about TNA, they're trying to get that biggest contract, and yet they still with a limited paycheck. But all these years, I hope y'all get a bigger contract, please. I'm praying for y'all for that, TNA.
I'm about to say, Hard to Kill was a hell of a launching pad, and then your first TNA Impact was holy shit.
That was a good start to where it's got me back now. But now to where I know. Now to where
you're talking something else besides AEW and Ring of Honor. Put that in perspective, King. You just said TNA.
Yeah, I did, and that was back on my wrestling watching weekly schedule. Go figure. Good job, TNA. Keep it up.
Corelli and Gil Kim. It only took you friggin' 22 years.
But that now the most likely situation to where everybody thinks he's going to go, and I'm just calling it what it is. If he doesn't go to TNA, he's already got a pre-existing relationship with Tony Khan. He's already got his matches with Bryan Danielson, not once, but twice.
Yep.
He's close friends with the Bucks, who are EVPs, by the way, which they've been leaning into that corporate role as of late. Corporate Bucks, people. Call them by their regular names, their government names. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Get that through your head, people.
I will not, and they cannot make me sign any deal that will make me say that while I'm on play-by-play commentary for Revolution, but I digress.
But anyways, he's got these close friendships. He's got his matches, and of course, he's got the relationship with Tony Khan. If TNA doesn't play out, he's going to go to AEW. Which AEW and TNA, I don't mind one of those two locations for Okada. I don't. Because he'll have fresh set of matches, fresh set and same people that he's faced against, and new challenges ahead for him. But also, I do see him returning to NJPW somewhere down the line. So basically either AEW or TNA. That's where Okada's going to land. Either one of the two.
Well, as we know, and I know it's pre-tape, but again, I'm #spoiler-free. This week it will be Okada alongside the Motion Machine Guns taking on the System. And of course, as TNA continues to showcase what they're doing, a whole lot more on that card, including we talked about the Brazo defined. Let's not also forget Will Ospreay defined by AEW. Also now a defined. I guess this goes into the free agent talk, so we got to talk about it. Nic Nemeth, the most wanted man, the former Dolph Ziggler. Not only is he facing David Finlay in Japan Pro Wrestling, he is part of TNA.
Yeah, seriously, I never thought he would make that jump. I thought he was just going to wait it out like everybody else did, and then WWE call him back. No, he ain't wasting no time. He's going to become most wanted, literally. And as David Finlay, which not my Bullet Club, I hope Nic Nemeth takes that title away from him in February. But now he wants to call his shot against Moose, which that's a tall order.
Yeah.
Which Moose is now officially, you can now officially call Moose the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, because if you remember, people, he used to have the white strap belt, which it was unofficially the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, but now he can officially call himself TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
TNA World Champion, by the way, which also I like because it doesn't pigeonhole you to thinking that, okay, the guy's a freaking heavyweight, so he'll be heavyweight. By the way, look at these beautiful titles. Tell me these are not the best titles right now in the industry.
Oh, they're so good. Even the digital media one, even I don't like the digital media one, and that's still a good title, which crazy, Steve. Thank you for taking the title off of Tommy Dreamer, which I said it on Twitter.
Fork he could in the palms to impale the man. Jesus.
Yeah, he did. Even, like, seriously, how do you stuff a fork inside of a man's shirt and then all of a sudden just attack right on that?
Yeah, you add 50 forks to it to cushion the impact. God.
I guess that's crazy, Steve, for you.
First championship for him though in his TNA career, so kudos to him. But yeah, and I went about this with JJ as well. He was like, with AEW, you got the same matches. In AEW, there's over 169 professional wrestlers. Keyword, professional wrestlers. Damn it. In WWE, there's 140 plus superstars signed or being made across that landscape. Both companies are overinflated. Now, the more experience are on Raw and SmackDown, slowly dealing in what you're trying to create in NXT. And it's been seen quite clearly, which is a nice breath of fresh air. It's not overhyped part-timers that can't do more than 5 moves or wrestle away out of a paper bag and just lumber. Also, in AEW, there's a lot of young, hungry, promising first-time talent there. But if Okada comes with that mentality of fuck the kids, then it's like, tread cautiously. And as far as the matches Okada's been in, you could do it on 1.5 hands. Heyman Adam Page, Adam Cole, Switchblade Jay White, Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega. Besides that, he's competed virtually against nobody else on that roster.
Exactly.
So I'm going to put your hindsight in there, JJ, just saying. And again, I don't look at just the biggest names because you only look at the biggest names. There's a reason why the constants in New Japan have been Tanahashi, Okada, and Naito. And why Sonata wanted to break that consistency. Failed to. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm just going to put that out there right now. As much as you may not like it, dude, like the result, this was match of the night, bar none. This was fucking
It
incredible.
was, even though and Moxley and Ospreay had a 5-minute deal, and they really beat up on David Finlay, and that was my favorite part of the whole match, literally.
You can't deny that David Finlay took a lot of shit and still came out with the win. He literally earned it.
He did. I hate to say it, but he did it. But this one here, masterpiece.
Oh, man, bar none. Antonio Inoki be proud of both of these, man. A student and somebody that always wanted to be like Antonio Inoki. He's definitely not a wannabe. He's a role model, to say the least. Well done.
And then Okada with that ring robe, with that robe, with the
How
with him.
much is that fucking rope?
If I had to guess, they'll probably be in 1,000 range.
Freaking UV light exposure.
It was like, but I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Oh,
what the hell? All right, Okada, damn. Anyway,
that's one way of making an entrance. It's always you do at Wrestle Kingdom.
I guess so. But yeah, it's just weird. Whoop, he crashed. Botch.
Dadgummit.
First one of the new year. Oh, I was waiting for that.
It's always at the 30-minute mark. It's always at the 30-minute mark. Always is.
Come on, man. Some things never change. Anyway. But yeah, it's just so interesting to think about all these people that are free agents right now, or free agents coming up in such a short period of time, and people that you don't know that could be added to the pool from WWE, from AEW, see who could show up in TNA. You might as well say the Grizzly Young Vets are going to be signed in TNA at this point. I mean, it seems likely. It's crazy, but I think the biggest thing to figure out is this Saturday is the Royal Rumble. Of course, we'll save that for our main event because for the first, like I said, this Royal Rumble actually feels like it fucking matters and has more meat to it. Who would have fucking guessed? Thank you, Triple H.
Thank you.
Anyway, but yeah, I look at these right now. I feel the most obvious one to pick out of this group is maybe Kamille to WWE and Okada to AEW. But even then, those are still maybes for me because there hasn't been hindsight detail of anything Camille's been doing. Of course, we know what her husband's been doing. He's still in the NWA, and EC3 is still NWA World Champion. Take that for what you will. But apparently Matt Cardona wants that back, and that's a whole different animal. Matt Cardona, Jesus. But it's crazy to think how much in less than a month we're already reshaping the industry, and honestly, if you ask Triple H, changing the game. Let's go ahead and segue real quick into TNA Hard to Kill with some brief thoughts there. Again, the launching pad to the rebirth of TNA, and it was a hell of a start. To your point, the Knockouts once again set things off in Ultimate X in the second time, and Giselle Shaw gave me a Don West moment to call. I thank her for that. As Giselle Shaw just took one step closer to making TNA the year of the quintessential diva. And as we saw also, the Juggernaut Driver allowed Jordan Grace to once again make history and beat Trinity. In what was an exhibition of two of the meanest heavyweight tested in the game, Alex Hammerstone brought the opportunity to Josh Alexander that Josh took, and Josh was able to overcome in his home. And as you alluded to, we of course have Moose now, the face of TNA, and the system leading as TNA World Champion holds all the gold and all the power. AAA officially signed a partnership deal with TNA and Saban. Don't know how he fucking did it, but he did it again. Still our X Division champion. And of course, this failed four-way, which was nut and butts. The grizzled young vets came so damn close, but the ABC maybe finally put the Rascals in the back view, bottom of the barrel, back of the line, as the ABC were able to come out with the 1, 2, 3, too sweet. And Macklin won the very first match in the new era TNA against Rich Swann, has already confronted Nic Nemeth, where he said, the only thing people remember about Nic Nemeth is what the hell happened to Dolph Ziggler. Damn.
That was a cold line.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Steve Macklin, once forgotten son.
Yes, you are correct.
Saying. And also, as we saw, Decay came back from the undead realm. Didn't see that coming. And Roadman just got Havoc obliterated. MK Ultra just got Havoc finally get a win back against Marshall Simons, by the way, in emphatic fucking fashion. As the Knockouts Tag Team Championships changed hands in MK Ultra, I'm excited and worried for the Knockouts roster. Now that MK Ultra have a reason to be pissed off. And of course, they will be in tag team matches this week against Jody Fret and Danny Luna, and against Zara Brookside, newly signed to TNA. Beat Tasha Steelz in her singles debut. And Josh Alexander Will Ospreay put on a classic in the closing of our first TNA Impact with Scott D'Amore ushering in TNA's back, and it's not going away as the new era of TNA continues. And will it be bigger, better, brighter, more wilder than ever? Where TNA Plus says you haven't seen anything till you've seen everything. Are we going to see everything this time from TNA? And what does everything encompass, to say the least? That being said, that perfectly segues in when we talk about reshaping, raising the game, landscaping. Let's talk about the industry itself. As we know, in the first few weeks, it's been very newsworthy, to say the least. In AEW, the rankings are officially back, where they really are trying to make wins and losses matter once again, and everybody earns their way through competition. And by the way, Hook, damn hell showing 10-minute merit, my friend. Fuck gender. That being said, and I always will go with that. 2017, you can't make me change my mind. Of course, NJPW, like you said, go president. Hiroshi Tanahashi, now the president of Japan Pro Wrestling and NWA World Television Champion, as the 6-man heavyweight titles have been vacated, and they are losing some of their biggest players, but this new generation seems to be on the rise and wants to take that torch, particularly Shota Umino, who says he will become the new ace, with other names like Uya Uemura, Yota Tsuji, the United Empire that needs to really step up for a new leader. By the way, congratulations to Great Khan, all hell, KLPW champion. That was ridiculous, by the way, against Tasha Ishimori.
A muscle fit match?
Yeah, he is not muscle. He is not cardio fit. I'm just saying. Right. That would have killed me, by the way, too. So the fact that was about who was holding the title, that was brilliant. Nice way to play the loophole. And, of course, we know at their Battle in the Valley, Moxley's taking on Tetsuya Naito at freaking Windy City Riot. What the fuck?
And Mustafa Ali is taking on Hiromu Takahashi.
Well, and Ali we trust. As, again, Ali right now, he's on a worldwide campaign to remind us exactly who he is now that he's been released from prison. I mean WWE. Sorry. Your own habits. I don't want to call WWE prison, but at the end of the day, WWE is still WWE. And TNA, of course, like we said, the new era has begun it's in a brighter, different light more than ever, including the setup. Thank you for bringing back the tunnel. I appreciate that so freaking much. With less pyro and laser lights. No laser lights. Kind of sad about that. Yeah. And again, as we know, TNA, of course, they're already up and running with No Surrender, TNA Plus service, and very curious to see who leads the way. And Frank Kazarian going to lead the way his own way with that perimeter chip on the shoulder. He went full heel against Eric Young. Kind of saw that coming, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I didn't.
Well, Kazarian's always been a rebel to me. He rolls to his own beat of his own drum. And I think he's stronger as a solo player. And in Ring of Honor, as we talked about, the Injury World Television Championship for the women right now is heavily being talked about, but nothing's been decided as far as the 5 of the fittest, the 6, the tournament, or nothing. And Nyla Rose looks to be the next Minion Overlord after playing Athena through a door.
Surprise!
Right. And Eddie Kingston still holds all 3 titles, and apparently when he defends the Continental Crown, he is defending all 3 titles at once. And it sounds like Bryan Danielson is already giving him the proverbial tick-tock. In other news, though, WWE, they have clinched a deal where Raw will be moving to Netflix next year. And The Rock has been added to TKO as a freaking director of the board, meaning he has more power than Triple H.
And which, may I add, for which Netflix and chill has a whole new meaning. Literally.
No fucking kidding. And again, folks, we're 24 days into the new year. So, King, to take a line from Cody, what do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the hot topic that was of yesterday of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson joining TKO board of directors, which, by the way, the old man has still not left yet of that board. He's still there, along with one Nick Khan. And then you have Dwayne entering the mix. Like, huh? What? And then, like, and then, of course, congratulations to him. He now got full trademark rights to his name, The Rock, which congrats on him for owning the full rights to his name, which was owned by WWE all these years. I'm surprised he didn't like trademark himself, but it took us this long.
I mean, money don't talk, power does. And now you got the guy literally part of the freaking company merger. You ain't gonna tell The Rock.
And then this is where the part where I sent the video of him appearing on First Take yesterday, and Cody, you better hope you finish your story this year, because from what Meltzer has reported, take this with a grain of salt, people. Roman Reigns is now scheduled for Elimination Chamber, which everybody was fantasy booking for The Rock and Roman to be at Elimination Chamber. No, folks, it's not happening. Roman is not scheduled to be at Elimination Chamber. So,
I'll be shocked.
Which now Meltzer has reported this could go either 1 of 3 ways. Yes, notice how I said 3, not 1, people. Either Roman is getting Cody again, Roman is getting Rock, or a la WrestleMania 30. Triple threat.
Oh, God. I hate that. I'm just going to say this real quick. I think definitively at pay-per-views, your world championship on the biggest stage of all your pay-per-views should be definitively decided in a worthy story-built and telling, concluding one-on-one match. And it continue.
But, of course, Rock, when Stephen A. Smith asked him the question, "Oh, we're going to see you wrestle at WrestleMania? When are we going to see that?" And then The Rock kind of teased it. He said, "There is a chance. There is a chance that you'll see me wrestle at a WrestleMania." So I was like, there it is. There it is. There was the tease that I was looking for, Dwayne. So,
I mean, it's still a chance. You pick up a chance card, you might earn money, you might go to jail and don't pass go. I mean,
and of course, he said that he wants to grow and envision the build with Roman, which I can respect that because he's old school. So I respect that. Yeah. But now I'm starting to believe Meltzer's report may, like I said, again, may be correct. This could really go either one of three ways.
So, if it does, which way would you prefer?
As much as the story has become a joke of finish the story, I would rather have Cody and Roman go at it one more time and Cody actually finish it. If they go where I think, from a business perspective, now that he's in power, if they go down that route, you know how much backlash that social media is going to take this. And what's even worse is that if you go the triple threat route, it's going to be even more worse of a backlash than the second one.
Here's the thing, though, to shout out Jeff Meacham. There is no such thing as bad publicity, some would say. WWE's got more money, more branding power to take the internet backlash and tell it to stick it straight up their candy ass.
How?
Because at this point, WWE has never been more lucrative as an IP than ever before. We're talking about a $5 billion deal with Netflix that could go on 10 to 20 years.
But as we know with Netflix, they know how to cancel stuff right off the bat like that.
Well, they did just cancel one of their plans on their service to prepare for this, case in point, as the continuing world of streaming changes. And speaking of streaming and stuff like that, let's not forget, that means all three definitive main products of the WWE now all have their homes. No, SmackDown's going to USA. We might get Monday Night SmackDown. What?
Did you just hear yourself? Did you just hear yourself? Yes, Monday Night SmackDown. And notice in the press release, when that announcement came out about Raw, it did not say Monday night at all.
It just said we could be just literally calling ourselves Raw. Welcome to Raw. No. That's not going to work. So sorry.
And even Nick Khan has even talked about exploring it from moving Raw to away from Mondays.
Well, there goes the longest weekly running episodic television show in sports entertainment history. R.I.P. Look, who knew? It literally had an end of life span. And then on top of that, whatever happens with SmackDown, please, Lord of God, don't make it 3 hours. I really fear this might be the day it happens. Because you realize with Raw moving
to Netflix,
that's at least 2 shows worth 30 minutes to fill on that time slot. People only watch Law & Order so much. And Temptation Island. And whatever reality show you want to bring back as an encore. And also NXT has their home. The home of NWA, the CW. And again, NXT right now, they're doing bigger things as well. Again, William Regal is back. He came back as a TV presence to usher in the new general manager of NXT, The Rock's daughter.
Yeah, which The Rock, like we just talked about, The Rock, which The Rock is in power. Imagine that. The Rock's daughter is the general manager on screen of NXT, and then you have the father as part of the board.
And Roman Reigns still rules SmackDown with a gluttonous iron fist, overrated, underbooked, underselling, pigeonholing your roster.
In which, at this rate, it's happening. If he beats Cody again, he's going to pass Hogan's record.
I'm on video for this. If Roman doesn't drop the title at WrestleMania, I officially quit WWE Watch Along.
Whoa!
Watch NXT. Watch.
Whoa!
I'm that damn sick and tired of seeing this roster of SmackDown pigeonholed without a definitive singles championship presence and title to contend with.
Whoa, that I just hear that come out of your mouth.
Yes, you did.
Wow.
I'm that shit. TikTok. Anyway.
Speaking of TikTok, the Authors of Pain are back with Karrion Kross.
Interesting group there. Last Testament. Okay. Well, I mean,
which it took them long. It took Triple H long enough to bring them back after, I don't know, maybe a year and a half of under contract since they were signed for that long, but haven't been used on TV until now.
Well, let's be honest here. Triple H is the guy that holds the pen, but there's still somebody at the end of the day that has more power than him. There's a reason why we finally got Pete done, and it took this damn long. I think this year is finally where we're seeing Triple H get more actual force on the vision of the WWE product, especially since Kevin Dunn's now gone. And Kevin Dunn was always a Vince McMahon guy. So there you go. Just saying.
Just get DIY over again, please. I'm tired of seeing Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. It's just basically what happened to the old of both of them. Now they're just basically with having what's going on with DIY.
They're with The Miz in a feud against the Judgment Day, where Judgment Day might finally be disintegrated before our eyes thanks to our troops insurgents. That's a whole different conversation. But it's weird to look at both shows and think about what they're trying to push. And boy, is that women's tag division still dead as a doornail.
Even Kaden Carter and Katana Chicks, which I respect them both, still not enough.
It's not. I almost think at this point, because of the fact they are just the most recognized and known, maybe the Kabuki Warriors is the way to go. But that means you pigeonholed Asuka back to the tag title. But maybe
which,
Asuka wants.
Again, why the name again? Why bring that name back into the WWE centerfold again? I thought we got rid of that name a long time ago.
If WWE has the IP and they can still make money off it, dude, they'll reuse it. It's as simple as that. This is the same company that made a shirt with the world's biggest fan in the Performance Center during the pandemic, and it actually sold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. WWE, I forgot about that shirt.
WWE is the branding juggernaut, and if they have existing IPs that they can resell to foolish people that are willing to spend their money, they're going to do that. It's as simple as that. It's business 101. Don't have to like it as fans, but as businessman, if we had stock in it, you would be all over the moon because you would be getting more than a profit from it.
Yeah, as a fan, I just hate the name.
Yeah, that's what it is for us. But yeah, so yeah, going back to the WWE, it's super weird to, I even said in the chat, the age of cable and satellite is dying. Long live streaming. It's becoming more definitive than ever. And yes, I know that cable services and satellite services are still out there. But I think less people are going for them. Hell, my freaking cable service provider freaking stopped their affordable customer connectivity program in March this year. That's going to cause people more backlash and people to turn away. To the point now they're trying to get people to invest more in the internet service at a cheaper rate, or you pay an extra rate on the equipment that they can provide for you. So it's like you damn you do, you damn you don't. It's catch-22. But at the end of the day, definitively, the way to go is streaming, because every streaming service offers that local content for you at a lower fee. And the WWE clearly sees that.
And of course, Andrew Zarian, again, I touched on his name earlier, his source spoke to him, and he reported us on Twitter that AEW and Warner Brothers are going to go with that hybrid streaming and cable with Max, with that deal coming up pretty soon.
I don't say they get close to their first 4 or 5 year term. So at this point, let's talk about AEW, because right now AEW, they need to figure out the attendance thing first off, because I know there's been talks about that. And again, we talk about Savannah, Georgia. I don't even know what the attendance was because I don't look at those numbers, because again, I don't follow that type of stuff.
I think it was from when I was on WrestleTix earlier before we did the watch along. Yeah, it was like 2,500 plus with the available of 200 tickets available. So I'm like, Savannah, Georgia. I know they haven't been there in a while, so I'm kind of figuring that. But I'm like, also Raphael played a part of, booking these shows, as in getting these shows, and all of that. But they now hired a dude. I forgot his name. Starts with a K. I forgot his name. They hired him from what he was in WWE with their live event touring, which he did, a magnificent job over there for WWE. Of course, expand more markets in more cities, which I feel like this was long ago, which I thought that was Jeff Jarrett's doing. But apparently he's still doing what Raphael was doing. Apparently, so now bringing him in, now is going to expand more. Which, let's be honest, dude, I know they're going to have another Chicago show coming up.
Oh God.
You know they are. You know how you. So with Saturday,
NJPW has already hit Chicago. Bam. The first thing to hit Chicago this year. I'm aware.
So you know they're going to oversaturate that especially with AEW and New Japan, which I'm glad that show is getting almost sold out from what I've been told.
In a bigger venue, by the way. They're in the Wintrust Arena.
And I'm like, last time Wintrust Arena was ever held was, of course, AEW. But now what they're bringing in that guy from former WWE, like I said, I forgot his name. Thankfully, thank goodness, because we need to stop with Savannah was a prime example. Gotta get away from that. Gotta get away from that. Like go to the Footprint Center, which they're going to in February. That's bigger venue. They was at the Chase Center last year for Revolution. Get Double or Nothing away from the Vegas market. Let somebody else have Double or Nothing. Like next year, like I understand Wembley this year, and I'll allow it this year. But next year, you gotta have All In somewhere else if you want to still continue to do this internationally.
I agree. Especially because WWE, I think they're tapping into the international market more than ever. Let's not forget Backlash in France, Bash Berlin, Germany. John Cena wants to retire at WrestleMania in London. And honestly, at this point, I don't think there's any place that WWE can't try and hit yet. And with the speculation of Japan, Lord help us.
Oh my God.
If the Tokyo Dome goes up for demolition or for sale, you know who's going to first go after it.
Yeah.
And then Triple H would finally get his wish. And let's not forget, Triple H is #1 sought after free agent ever in this industry when he first had the power to try and pursue such people was Kazuchika Okada.
It was Will Ospreay, because they were going to try and do NXT around Will Ospreay. But now look where Ospreay landed, because I forgot to mention this too. Okada's got the same agent, Rich Bloom, something like that. Yeah. He's got the same super agent that, I don't know. Let me name off these names, shall I? Matt and Nick Jackson, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and get this, folks. This probably the reason why he's coming to the States, but not moving to Japan. Well, not moving to the States, but staying in Japan. Will Ospreay, people. He's got the same agent that Will Ospreay has that got him to AEW, that basically does not have him to move out of England to move to the States. So keep that in mind.
That was one of the biggest caveats to Will Ospreay as well. And in that post-match, by the way, Okada won again. Incredible match, though. In that post-match where Ospreay basically was like, everything's like full circle, thank for everything, and doesn't know necessarily if this is for sure the end if you'll see this. It's almost like Ospreay kind of teased like, we will meet again, maybe sooner than you think, under a similar roof. And Kazuchika Okada will Ospreay at Wembley Stadium, I'm just saying. Then again, Bryan Danielson is literally the last dream match. Yep. Definitively out of Will Ospreay's mouth that he wants, and Bryan Danielson is on his last full-time year. But going back to what we're talking about here with AEW now we talk about WWE being the most profitable they've ever been in the freaking existence of their IP. Damn it. AEW, they need to, like you said, they need to explore more markets, break away from tradition, especially bigger shows, their biggest shows where they jump from 4 to 8 pay-per-views last year alone, and World's End did very well, and they already got Revolution at 15,000 plus, and so far they don't seem to have nothing before that, which, again, I don't know how wise that is, or if that is smart, because you figure about, again, all those other shows just go dark. But AEW, we're talking about restore the feeling, but besides Tony Khan needs to stop being a Twitter twat, let's just call it.
Yes.
What else does AEW need to do this year, and should we be concerned at all about their partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery?
I'm not concerned because, of course, Tony, like we said, he needs to stay off social media, which, he needs to from time to time.
That goes for anybody out there that's a Twitter twat. I'm not just isolating Tony Khan. You know who you are, by the way. You're the problem.
Exactly. So, but of course, if he wants to tweet out 2024 is going to be an amazing year and just leave it at that, that's cool. Cool, leave it like that, which he did. Which, when he tweeted that out, it leads to a lot of things. That 2024 is going to be an amazing year when he tweeted that. And I'm like, and I even commented on that Twitter post. I said, Tony, you must got a few sleeves up. You've got a few aces up your sleeve.
Apparently.
And apparently so. I mean, the string of shows that he's done so far with the Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision, which I've heard Rampage viewership is going up. Collision viewership is going up with head-to-head, that it's holding its own. May I add, folks, it's going up with NFL games, NBA games, and it's passing them in the ratings.
That's good to see.
Which I'm like, yo, if you would have told me this in 2020, 2021, I would have never believed you. But here we are now, and I'm like, he's slowly restoring the feeling. But once more, I shouldn't be concerned with Warner Brother and AEW partnership. That Max deal will get done. It's just basically we're tired of waiting. I want to download Max. I want to watch my pay-per-views on Max instead of paying Bleacher Report. I'm tired of paying Bleacher Report on my paycheck total. I'm tired of it. I want to go to Max. Max, please.
Especially after All In, All Out cost us $100 in back-to-back.
That was the worst back-to-back experience of my paycheck of my life. As a wrestling fan, that was the worst.
I agree. I'm not arguing that. Again, I'm the crazy man that bought every AEW, Ring of Honor, and TNA pay-per-view last year.
Except for the TNA part, New Japan, sort of. But AEW, I'm with you on, and Ring of Honor, I'm with you on that one.
Well, at least right now our wallets are safe. But again, I just wonder if it's a smart strategy. But since all the focus is being put on Revolution, maybe it is. Right now our wallets are safe to the beginning of March as far as that price.
March 3rd.
And the Greensboro Coliseum, where it all began, it will all end for Sting, which is still crazy to believe. And again, the rankings. We talk about changing the business structure of AEW. It's like he's bringing the more competition side of things, the competition focus to it. And I do wonder if that's going to diverge a little bit from the storytelling we've seen lately with certain individuals, considering Swerve and Heyman's blood feud, pun intended, to go out to the AEW World Championship. And of course, I'm just going to call it as I see it, Timeless Tony Storm is the character presence in AEW's ecosystem.
Like, she really is. And like, why do I feel like what every champion has holds the most prestigious prize in professional, one of the most prestigious prizes in pro wrestling? I feel like it will build around them. Like, we've had the Hangman story that was 2 years. Then we had the belt collector story, but it all started with the Le Champion story.
Yep.
And we have the Moxley unscripted story era. And then we had, well, let's call it what it is, the best in the world era, which that didn't last long, really. And then Joe, which I'm just going to call it how it is. Or we had the MJF era, which
we can't forget that year long.
Which it did good. Yeah. And which it did good, but man, it's just something about Joe with that title now. It's just more elevated.
Because he's a lethal threat.
And it's like with this one, with this era of Joe, with the world championship, it's like when he said at Daly's place, when it was first promo as AEW World Champion, when he said, you bring your record, you bring your reputation, and the champion will be waiting for you to get your butt kicked. I was like, wait a minute. Win-loss record, reputation. And then here comes the following week out of nowhere, Tony with the tweet on Collision. He's bringing back the rankings. I'm like, so Joe's words meant something that night at Daly's place.
It almost makes me wonder if Joe's going to be part of the ranking committee here. Because, again, the rankings was how it initially started. But at the end of the day, the rankings were pretty one-dimensional. They didn't make sense.
Well, he did say championship committee. So I'm guessing he might play a part of it.
I mean, it's one of those things, though, where I think Joe could be one of those individuals that could be also unbiased in his judgment, too. And I think that's another thing that truly, crucially defines the industry. Who could put personal versus business separately?
I mean, there were reports when the media called, Tony said he had a control group that basically projected the idea of the C2, which C2 phenomenally well done. I can't wait for this year. I can't wait.
Buddy Matthews in it as a singles. Damn it. Buddy Matthews, these were singles matches. My gosh, he's underrated.
So does Malachi Black, but we don't know how that back is, though. But
fair enough.
But he said he had a control group that basically they projected the idea, which he did not name any names, which I find that interesting. He did not name any names that basically that played a part of the idea of having the Continental Classic. So it makes me wonder, part of this championship committee, I mean rankings committee, championship committee, however you want to call it, does that part of that control group too, that he's keeping the names mystified on a tight to the vest, and Joe is basically with the word committee out of his mouth? Can Joe be a part of that? Like I said, I don't know.
I mean, Joe's a no-nonsense guy as well. So if you're going to have somebody that keeps order in the locker room, Samoa Joe, Jon Moxley, pretty damn strong candidates, if I'm being perfectly honest. And, of course, to your point, the first defense in the books and the first person to step up, the guy with quite a record and a reputation, Hook. And he showed us 10 minutes of fortitude and merit that Samoa Joe, so they respected and literally tried to beat the living shit out of last week. And Hook said, don't know how, don't know when, but I will see you again. Message sent. As Joe had security try and score them. Yeah, that worked out great.
Yeah,
so
Hook arm dragon and caught the Hachime Red Rum, everybody almost.
Good grief almighty. But yeah, it does feel like AEW is going under a different change in the new year, besides the presentation with a slightly different LED lighting grid and stage set, which I like. The subtle nuances, I think, are important. It just slightly developing your presentation. And we've seen that since the start of this year. So it is one of those things where I do think he is trying to bring out the best in his roster, or maybe encourage them to push them to be their best. They want to call themselves champion. And so far, we're seeing that really being put on focus for the World Championship, which is what's most important. I do wonder, though, how that could affect things like the Women's World Championship and, more importantly, the TBS Championship, because Julia Hart right now has no challengers after successfully defending against Anna Jay at Bell. The belt's 9, the same day as TNA Hard to Kill. And, of course, as we also know, Julia Hart and Sky Blue seem to be a very dangerous duo.
Literally, that is a force to be reckoned with within the women's division. As long as Julia has that TBS championship and Sky Blue is right there, good luck trying to take that title off of Julia Hart. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, I think AEW definitely is going to have a better year than last year. But the number one thing that has to be put into motion to really bring this company back to prominence, Tony Khan, don't be a Twitter twat.
And yeah, that, and go after the women's free agents, as you alluded to in your World's End media call last month. Like you put the
pigeonholing them in the 9:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tiebreaker. Damn it! But I digress. I don't digress. I don't digress anymore. 2024. I no longer digress. I legit in what I say. Okay, so TNA's back, better than ever, honestly, a brighter light. We forget about the dark days, but think about what brought us to TNA in the first place. And in this new era, it's demonstrated that passion, that unbelievable alternative to your wrestling viewing experience, whether you're there live or watching from your home. The freaking amount of competitiveness, the showcasing of the women's division, and the depth. That TNA first episode hit all cylinders, and it looks like the follow-up is going to exceed that. We got the women's knockouts tag match between MK Ultra, Killer Kelly, Maja Slam is taking on a very powerful force and a threat in Danny Luna and Jody Fret. I like this. We have, of course, Trinity gets her rematch against Jordan Grace for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. God, I love the fact they brought the white strap back. This belt is so damn gorgeous.
So beautiful.
Yes, that is the best women's championship right now in the industry. And then, of course, we have Nic Nemeth making his freaking singles debut against Zachary Wentz. I don't think Steve Mack will be too far away. And, of course, our star-studded six-man main event where the system will take on the Moise Machine Guns and Kazuchika Okada and so much more. It's a very interesting episode for TNA Impact Episode 2 of the new era. But the number one thing we want TNA to do is find a bigger home that offers them a bigger scope. Because the number one thing, even in Impact Wrestling days, we won't even call it Impact Wrestling, it's a mouthful, they need to have a bigger market in their place. And I'm glad that Access gave us this long-term comfort, but they need to branch out of that. So with the way the market is, how streaming is being so dominant, looking at, previous high spots for TNA, at this point, King, what do you think TNA may need to do, or maybe what they should pursue? I know somebody talked about the Paramount Network or Paramount Plus. See, I know two different things, but you all get what I'm saying. What are you thinking here as far as TNA? What do you hope for their future? Because Scott D'Amore was pretty definitive, saying we are back and we're not leaving again, and I believe him truly.
I believe him too, because he was there from the days of Jeff Jarrett and everything else. So I believe him too.
And he worked every role, and now he's the president of the company.
Exactly. Which, thank you, Scott D'Amore. Man, what do I see? What do I want to see? I want to see him go streaming like everybody else is what seemed to be doing, especially with Raw and SmackDown, with Raw and everything. But I feel like right now, they got TNA Plus and everything, but I feel like right now they still need to be on cable, but I think of a network that's wide open coming October of this year, since SmackDown is going back to USA. But I feel like it's the home run stretch. It's a big stretch. Fox?
I think the only problem with that is Fox put the bar up so damn high, and SmackDown never met it, that Fox basically ripped them off from the start, I think. I don't know if Fox would go after TNA because, let's be honest, TNA is its own environment of viewership that's less than the WWE and AEW, unfortunately.
True, but remember the days of Spike TV? Is Spike TV still around?
No, that's part, I think it's True TV now. That's part of the whole Paramount umbrella, I think. We were briefly talking about that because I remember Spike, and to be fair, Spike was their highest rated viewership. You're absolutely right, but that channel's long gone.
Exactly. So, I could see them going back to the Paramount umbrella because, like you said, that drew their highest, really. So, I could see them going Paramount Plus, Paramount Network, somewhere around that vicinity. I just want to see them get off of Access. Don't get, like you said, Access giving them long-time comfort, but they got to get away from that. I want to see them go back to Paramount.
Yeah, and again, I don't even watch Access. I watch the commercial-free 90-minute full show weekly for $1 once a month, folks, courtesy of being a TNA Ultimate Insider on YouTube. That's, again, commercial-free, starting off 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week. You get the full-on show perfectly every week. So,
I watch it on Access TV, so.
No, you're a fool.
I know.
Seriously, dude, how many times do you need to look at that sad hospital commercial and a commercial for Blue Chew before you're like, shut the fuck up? I'm just saying.
Not the Blue Chew.
Damn you, Lex! Anyway. Again, shout out to family. But
yep, Lex, so your fault.
But yeah, at this point, and if Ring of Honor, just put that out there, if Honor Club becomes the home to show the pay-per-views and we don't have to buy them on Bleacher Report, I'm perfectly fine with that too. I thought that was great with what they did for Final Battle. I thought it worked out really well. So I hope they continue with that model because I think this Honor Club itself, like how to do with Peacock, do all your pay-per-views live within the Honor Club membership. If you want to make a slightly higher tier, okay, I get it. If you want to try making that free tier versus ads, okay, I get it. But for the love of God, nobody's going to constantly keep spending $50 to $60 damn dollars for a pay-per-view for Bleacher Report, especially when that UI already is buggy as shit.
Nope, I'm done. Like I said, I'm done with that.
Well, you might not be, because again, AEW Revolution is March 3rd, and unless you get that definitive notion as a big announcement, stop that shit too, by the way.
Yes, please.
On Twitter and YouTube. That was just such a bad thing. It was like being Rick rolled 14 times over last year. God. But yeah, I think, honestly, WWE right now is in the best shape they've ever been from a freaking perspective, presentation, outreach standpoint. They are literally unmatched. It might be unmatched for the rest of their life. Are they too big to fail? Absolutely not, especially with the UFC that could literally take them out from within with a low blow, if need be. Let's be honest here. All right. And then, of course, NJPW right now, I don't know what's ahead, but this next generation, you truly have to take the, pun intended, the reins if NJPW is going to live to see another 50 years. I'm just saying.
Because right now, we ain't got no face. I mean, Naito is the current IWGP World Champion, but let's face it, it's Okada. That's big shoes to fill, literally.
That's the shoes to fill, for being perfectly honest. And Tanahashi's the president. He can't do that. He expects somebody else to do it. Let's be honest here. And again, as far as TNA goes, get a better network deal. For the love of God, you deserve it. And for your longevity, you fucking need it. But anyway, and Ring of Honor, do what you're doing. I'm fine with Honor Club. I'm fine watching it on a weekly basis. I'm going to watch it on the app as I come home from my work day tomorrow. So there you go. But yeah, again, looking at the landscape, the free agents is out there. The networks are all out there. All the streaming services, all the big IPs, all the possible money you could figure about making out of this business and revenue and whatever. It's crazy to think about the possibilities and the scope. And we've only just begun. As we're here in January, and as we count down the days towards people becoming free agents, whether in and out of WWE, and where they might lie, and who could be the next big person on our screen, and where could they coexist, somewhere in streaming or in cable or satellite. Let's go ahead and get right into it in the proverbial main event, which usually is about AEW fame, but I want to try and do this more often than a few times a year, even if I do this impromptu out of nowhere. Sorry, guys. I warned you. With just me and King, because this has been a very fun, very tame, very timely conversation. So let's go ahead and close this thing out talking about the big thing this week. But before I do want to give, of course, a few notions about AEW, which, of course, also runs the Saturday Night Collision. And boy, the show is fucking stacked. As we know, Orange Cassidy will defend the International Championship against either Heel the Vikingo, the Butcher, Kip Sabian, or freaking Commander in a freshly squeezed fatal four-way number contendership that will be determined this Friday on AEW Rampage. Returning since 2022, the professor of professional wrestling, Serena Deeb, opens up the dojo and welcomes who the hell knows who. This Saturday on Collision, the Glamour, Mariah May, takes on Lady Frost. Yuji Nagata, Blue Justice, takes on the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. What the fuck? And in a first time ever, Trios Elimination Escape the Cage match. It will be FTR and Daniel Garcia, hopefully defining and settling up once and for all against the House of Black, where we will see if the House always wins. But besides that, on Saturday night, which will be all right for fighting, it will finally, for the first time in a long time, feel all right to really be engaged in sports entertainment. Because for the first time in a long damn time, it does not feel one person. It does not feel one-dimensional. It does not feel super over-glorified part-timers still in the spot from the young, constant working talent that worked the year out to try and tell a story and prove why they deserve the glory and deserve the moment, deserve the match, deserve the main event at WrestleMania. We are going to talk about, with higher excitement than I can last remember, the WWE Royal Rumble. It is once again that time as we kick off the road to WrestleMania 40. And this year, boy, oh boy, did they give us a lot to think about for the men's Royal Rumble, a couple things to think about for the women, and it's not an over-glorified card with a very unique four-way for the WWE Universal Championship and Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship, which at the end of the day comes down to who punches, who snares the other first. And at the end of the day, WWE is branding, so that's match. I'm kind of like, oh, God, capitalism. Here we go. Logan Paul, the impulsive one. Fuck you, viral disease. But I can't deny his in-ring prowess. It is what it is. Damn it. Speaking of in-ring prowess, God, I love this program with Deonna Purrazzo versus Timeless Toni Storm. I hope this thing continues for not just into Revolution. I think this would go all the way to Double or Nothing personally, because the Parazzo just getting started, and the wins and losses matter. And of course, she'll be facing the Lara Loca Tara Valkyrie next week. Still think she's going to go for Mariah May before she gets to Toni Storm. I think she needs to. Considering Mariah May, is just the person that came from Storm last year after having 99 matches and can truly wrestle in that ring. Just saying. Club Venus forever. It's so nice to see Mariah May signed to AEW and Zaya Brookside signed to TNA. Club Venus forever all over the world. As Donna Del Mudo's dismissed and the women will play on their own across the world, including maybe Thekla very soon in AEW. It's nice to see what Club Venus is doing. Stardom shapes the women's professional wrestlers of tomorrow today, 11 years later. And we still don't know the future of Megan Bay, but I digress. Anyway, back to the WWE. So, King, honestly, I gotta be honest here, bro. For the first time in a long time, and I've watched Classic Royal Rumbles like 2008, like 2007, like 2005, like 2001, like 1998, you name it, 1992. There's been some great Rumbles, but there's been some star sets. There's been some one-dimensional outcomes. There's been way too much fucking Brock Lesnar. And the Ronda Rousey thing, it was what it was. But, yeah. And the Women's Rumble's always been so underplayed at half speed. Legend showcase, and it's like, did it really mean something? And they never truly have been the main event or the closing of the night since WrestleMania 37 with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. But this year has offered more depth, more potential, more opportunity. And for once, not everybody has defined themselves in it via the bumper, social media tweeting. We have 7 known names for the men and 4 no name for the women. Not to mention the interwoven storytelling with who could be in the WrestleMania main event, particularly on the men's side of things. While the women might be a little bit more defined on one side, I think there is a bigger scope towards who could be in it. That's not a legend. Triple H has made the Royal Rumble matter really for the first time in a long time that I actually am engaged to watch the thing in full and fully pay attention to it. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So again, there's 4 matches, and that's a first. Shout out to TakeOver. I think he's actually going to give both these Rumbles the time they deserve and everybody a chance to actually prove I could win this or I could at least steal a moment. Hopefully it doesn't involve springboarding over the top rope like an idiot. Ricochet. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's start things off, quite simply put. It's got to set the pace of the night. Roman Reigns, the guy who will be going, arguably, in the WrestleMania for the 4th year in a row as champion. What the fuck? Overglorified part-timer. Defends the WWE Universal Undisputed Championship against LA Knight. Randy Orton. And the phenomenal, boy, is he jacked more than ever, too. Jesus. Lone Wolf style. AJ Styles. Randy Orton has never faced the Tribal Chief. AJ Styles never faced the Tribal Chief. LA Knight, the last victim of the Tribal Chief.
Tribal Chief? No. Previous version of Roman? Yes.
But let's be honest, no one gives a fuck about that previous version of Roman because that previous version of Roman would not be where he is at.
Facts.
So let's look at it this way. It's not the first time we've seen people work double time at the Royal Rumble, especially after losing out on a World Championship match or costing somebody. But there's also that speculation, as we talked about earlier with the TKO conversation. What is the plan for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? Do we finish the story? Do we get a moment? Is the bloodline finally decided as far as who is at the head of the table, possibly for life? In this 4-way, man, I feel like it's 2 matches. LA Knight fucking deserve the moment. Fucking hypocrite Jimmy Uso. And friggin' hooded friggin' problem solver Solo Sikoa. And then friggin' Control-C, Control-V over since WrestleMania 39. Yeah!
Yep.
I'm fine, but I digress. No, I don't digress. I gotta stop doing that.
Yeah.
LA Knight should have won a crown jewel. I think he deserved the moment. People believe Cody Rhodes should have the movie The Madison Square Garden or WrestleMania 39. That's still up for debate. Randy Orton, finally back from back injury. Great to see. The last of the OVW class, quite literally. And then AJ Styles, I don't know. It's weird to see where he's at right now. He's at that spot where he's at the tenured end of his TNA career, and then he went to NJPW and redefined Bullet Club. Too sweet. And then he came into Royal Rumble, ironically enough, in 2016.
and debuted at the number 3 spot
against Roman Reigns only. And of course, they feuded in 2016 following that. It's almost like AJ Styles is on his own. Doesn't care about the Good Brothers. Ouch. And he would say he's disappointed in Meacham. Double ouch. But lately, the hostility has been driven towards one LA Knight. And as you know, WrestleMania starts to take form as early as the Royal Rumble when it comes to filler feuds. More feuds than you could put on a MyGM virtual WrestleMania card. So I look at this being like it's AJ Styles and LA Knight to probably happen at WrestleMania. But does that come out of this fatal four-way? Does it come out maybe at both men's involvement in the Royal Rumble? And then you got Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, who have not had to fit a one-on-one since Roman went tribal. And in the fatal four-way, why Nick Aldis has been the only man with a backbone to actually stand up to Roman Reigns about damn time, to the point at which he kind of vacated him if he wasn't going to sign it, pussy. Gone as I see it. I do think the Bloodline's going to get involved again. That fucking hypocrite Jimmy Uso is going to allow Roman to escape with the damn title. So, what's your outlook on this fatal four-way dance and all four of these men's road to WrestleMania? And what's funny enough, we're not even fucking talking about the Elimination Chamber.
No, we're not, and that's coming like a month afterward. But
and Australia.
Right, which starts at 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central. I could be wrong on the time zone, but it's starting early in the morning, folks. So if you want to watch Elimination Chamber next month, be up bright and early.
I'm just gonna say that WWE is not the same quality as New Japan Pro Wrestling. Nor the
same Thank you.
For me, but if I have to do it as best for championship number business, I will. Shout out to my friend Alicia, by the way. Hope she's doing well down under. And hey, if she can go to Elimination Chamber, she has a good time. Anyway, continue.
But let's see here. I can see this being Randy Orton versus LA Knight. I can see that because it gives him a higher play. Also, I've been hearing rumors of LA Knight being in a US championship picture for WrestleMania, but we'll see where that goes. I'm going to put it as simple as this. Roman's winning, and of course the Bloodline going to get involved. Jimmy Uso going to get involved, and if that don't work, here comes Solo Sikoa, and if that don't work, here comes Paul Heyman doing his usual Paul Heyman shtick, and then Roman, Superman punch, spear, 1, 2, 3. Whoever gets the pin. Roman wins. He goes on to WrestleMania 40. It's still your Tribal Chief. It's still your undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
I still don't acknowledge him, by the way.
I don't either.
Well, at least I don't have to worry about someone like Jigapatu or Tama Tonga coming in with a hoodie on their head, freaking taking advantage on behalf of Roman Reigns and falling submissive to him. But yeah, it just feels like to me, what do I always say about Roman Reigns matches? It's not about the result. It's about the story. And at this point, Roman's story, I can care fucking less about. The other stories in this match, they intrigue me. I didn't think about LA Knight and United States title. I didn't think about AJ Styles and Randy Orton running it back from WrestleMania 35. I thought it would be LA Knight and AJ Styles and Randy Orton, guy, veteran, watching on from the outside. Does he ever face Roman Reigns? Who the fuck knows? I feel Randy Orton's kind of just there because he wants to continue this, because he loves this. And I'm glad to see him back. I really am. I'm glad to see he's going to go out on his own way. That's what people should be able to do when they give so much to this industry. That's why people like Adam Copeland and Saraya and Bryan Danielson got this second chance in life. Good for them. So, yeah, I think Roman's retaining, unfortunately. It's simple as that. Fuck me.
Remember, he's the draw. Remember that. He's a big money draw. Top number one.
Yeah. WWE, branding, blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. Don't have to like it as a fan. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about Royal Rumble now. I think it's fitting to talk about the women one here because 4 women. 4 women. 4 women announced. I love that, but also
I hate it.
What the fuck does that mean for Io Sky, particularly, where it's almost like Io Sky has no challenger worthy of her? And Rhea Ripley, at this point, you haven't built anybody else worthy except for, I don't know, long-term storytelling. From our NXT, the first time the man met with who is now known as Mommy, 2019.
Yep.
I'm just saying. But let's go ahead and slowly talk about it a little more, shall we? After that very unique face-off with the man, Becky Lynch, and Mommy, Rhea Ripley, 2 women that stood out their own way, became the two of the best to do it today in this game. And definitively the two best on the Monday Night Raw roster, for being perfectly honest. Yet they never met each other one-on-one in this capacity. It was teased. It was done once in NXT, and it was blown up because of brand supremacy. The only time Triple H ever made that matter, and NXT won that year. What does that tell you? I'm just saying. And here we stand. The man who's been on the grand stage, won the main event of WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley, who came in at 37, beat Asuka for the Raw title. Fought 3 fucking years to beat the Queen Charlotte Flair. And I'll still say it. Arguably last year, the women's match in WWE. I can't think of anything else that comes close to it. Let alone one of the best WWE women's matches I've seen in a long damn time, quite literally, from this company. Yeah, that speaks values.
Say what you want. Say what you want about Charlotte. Charlotte worked her butt off against Rhea that night at WrestleMania. I will give credit where credit is due. And both women show tremendous showcase.
As they should, damn it. And they were able to main event. Top that shit. Although the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens was a nice moment and a first. But I still say at the end of the day, your win at WrestleMania makes you the main event. But I get it is what it is. Yeah. In WWE especially. Women are still undermined by men. Go figure. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. It's just one of those things where I look at both these women's journeys. You think about Rhea, who went full golf, emo, badass. This is my brutality. You think about Becky Lynch, the last kicker, Irish, river dancer, came in, green as the green gear. She went, like she's a leprechaun. And then, of course, became the man, went, straight fire and hasn't looked back since. Even went Gaga, Lady Gaga. And now these two, it's almost a full circle moment, but Becky believes that she needs this to prove that she is still the man, because she believes that Rhea has become better than her. Arguably, it's a strong claim considering how many people has actually faced mommy worthy of even challenging for that title. And again, the title's come an afterthought since the moment, if I'm being perfectly honest. But this 1 year circle around, and Rhea even says the only person that wants to win the Royal Rumble more besides you is me. Dude, if it's not Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, do you really think there is another woman on this company that can hold a fucking torch to these two going one-on-one for this championship?
No, that match needs to happen. Becky needs to win. As much as people are saying the betting odds, if you're a betting person, that the current favorite odd-wise is Bayley. Yeah, Becky and Rhea need to run it. I feel like Becky should win this. As much as I want Io Sky, as much as I want Bayley to win and have Io Sky, damage control, basically having now taken over of Dakota Kai, because there's been teases and all of this, they're leaving Bayley out to dry, and it's been Dakota Kai pulling the strings or whatnot. So
I've been saying for the longest time, and I think Dakota Kai should be the standout single star this week champion, but of course she's still not able to compete.
You let you get well soon, Dakota Kai. Yeah, Becky, as far as story and main attraction goes in that women's division, yeah, Becky and Rhea is the story, and it's the main attraction that it should be. I mean, of course, Bayley will probably get her win at Elimination Chamber, which they're going to do Women's Elimination Chamber, of course. Bayley will get hers, and then she'll challenge Io. That's how I see it playing out.
So here's my thing with that. Becky's already run the Royal Rumble. I think this year, just to make it feel different, we need 2 first-time winners. And that's going to come into play when I talk about what I think is going to be the main event, because, let's be honest, the biggest match of the damn card is the Men's Royal Rumble. Here's the thing. Hello, Jeff. Yes, Becky and Rhea needs to have it. It's the only match on Monday Night Raw for the women's division that actually has any merit to it. But let's just put it out there. The other force that has intercepted this nonsense is Nia Jax. And Rhea Ripley is going down under in Australia. They're going to do Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for that title, so that way Rhea can finally put Nia where she belongs at the back of the line. Which means that Becky needs to win and qualify that night. I think Elimination Chamber is going to be women's qualifying match for WrestleMania. The man wins Elimination Chamber. and she goes on to face Rhea Ripley. It's almost like a New Japan Pro Wrestling thing with the G1 Climax winner and the championship. I will say this. I guess Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley won't be as, vomit-inducing as Evil and Sonata. Just saying. But I said what I said, and I stand by what I said. And then Becky Lynch, I'm curious because I will say this about WWE's women's division. They are trying to showcase a lot more promising talent from NXT that's been intercepted into it. Ivy Nile is one in particular. I could see Elimination Chamber involving Becky and Ivy Nile and some hopeful others. But since they've already put Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler back in the tag team scene, damn it. There goes that idea for those two. So I think Becky's going to win Elimination Chamber and go challenge Mommy at WrestleMania for the title. I think they're going to freaking push Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley as the agenda for this chamber because got to do something with Mommy and her home turf. She's going to be the main event. She's got to be, right? It's freaking Rhea Ripley's homecoming. It's got to be her, right? She's on the fucking poster. Come on.
It has to be. And of course, Nia, she's not like most girls. Literally and figuratively.
I will give this to Nia Jax. Raw, day one. That was probably Nia Jax's best match since she came up from NXT. So good job. Damn, wow. Becky left a mark on Becky too, by the way. Yeah, King, if you don't believe me, go actually watch that match yourself. She actually proved to look like and fight like a Goliath against a mounting David in Becky Lynch. It was actually a very good match. It was the opening match of this year's WWE cycle. It was the opening match of Monday Night Raw Day 1, believe it or not.
I'll have to give that match a check.
Yeah, please do. Okay, but yeah, going back to the Women's Rumble, I think Bayley wins it. Bayley has yet to win the Women's Royal Rumble, and to your point, they're trying to slowly change her into a babyface. And right now, you need to try and make the SmackDown Women's title matter more. I get the subtleties of separating Bayley away from Damage Control, with Dakota Kai being the mastermind. But Dakota Kai will not be clear for WrestleMania, it sounds like. Hello, Casey Flynn. I'm sorry. Yep. You can rant about it later in the chat. I look forward to your sermon on the Mount about Dakota Kai should be the champion later on. Anyway, I think Bayley's going to win. I think they are going to pull the trigger on Bayley versus Io Sky because right now, Io Sky, if the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane are going to go after the tag titles, and Io Sky is going to be the champion, and Dakota Kai is going to lead this trinity of Japanese, Black Lotus triad reincarnated to hold the gold on SmackDown Live, then you need an opposing force towards it. And Bayley, the one that went the closest with these women, including was the last match that sent Kairi Sane sailing, it makes sense. It's the only real story right now the women's division has on SmackDown, sad to say. So I think that Bayley does deserve, more importantly, this moment and a WrestleMania moment. Because let's be honest, her last singles WrestleMania moment in front of people, quite literally, was WrestleMania 33 in a Fatal 4-Way. And I don't remember if she won that. That's how forgetful that was.
WrestleMania 33. It was for the Raw Women's Championship, right?
Correct. Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax were involved in that, as well as the...
was it Sasha?
Yeah, I think it was Sasha.
Yeah, it was Sasha in that.
Yeah, you're right. And then, of course, she did defend the title during her heel days, in front of nobody, at WrestleMania 36, the WrestleMania we all like to forget. But anyway, history is history. But yeah, for me, I think Bayley deserves this. And since Vince just basically gave her the shaft and never really have given her a moment, let's not forget what happened at WrestleMania 37. Boy,
hello.
Oh, God. I think Bayley, give Bayley a moment. And at the end of the day, it's one of Triple H's original NXT daughters.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm going with Bayley as a primary winner for the Royal Rumble. Stay tuned, folks, for the No DQ Predictions League forums and Predictions League panel later tonight, where you can join the WPLE Predictions League for 2024 that I, of course, will be hosting, tracking, officiating, and booking. And also, there will be 3 picks for everybody for the Royal Rumble each. Stay tuned for more of that, but we're just keeping it simple here tonight on the AEW Impromptu. So my pick for the Women's Rumble is Bayley. Now, let's go ahead and talk about surprise factors here because, again, there's a lot of possibility. They have more than enough bodies across the entire WWE Women's landscape. Hell, NXT's got like 20. And honestly, some of those women, they've been at Royal Rumble before. Hello, Roxanne Perez. And I think some of them are even worthy to be a part of this one. And let's not forget where they are, King. Tropicana, Florida. Just saying, not too far away from NXT. I'm just saying. So let's talk about surprise factors here, because at the end of the day, it may not be our NXT, but it's better than what it used to be. You can't argue that this women's division has a lot thriving and a lot of promise to it. It's the best thing about NXT. Let me say that again so JJ and Cindy can hear it. It's the best thing about this NXT. So, that being said, since Lara Valkyrie and Roxanne Perez have a date at Vengeance Day for the NXT Women's Championship, so damn good to see Roxanne Perez in this dark, hungry demeanor. I like this metamorphosis. And I love the fact that Lara is finally a champion. Damn it. And Becky was the one to pass the torch to her. Who do you think from NXT could be a surprise entrance in this year's Women's Royal Rumble?
From the NXT Women's roster, Tiffany Stratton.
Really?
I can see Tiffany because she's got that potential. I really want to see her shine in the Rumble. Like you said, it's the best thing going. Of course, I don't watch NXT like that. I watch the highlights on their YouTube channel, but Tiffany Stratton is one of them, and she has caught my eye. Let me see who else though. I don't want to say Lola Vice because it's too early.
And don't forget, she still has that contract to challenge for the Women's Championship anytime she wants to win that breakout tournament. And it looks like her and Lucha Lopez are about to really have some Latino heat. They're about to face each other one-on-one, bro. Orderly.
So not Lola scratch Lola Vice. Roxanne can run it back.
Yeah, I can see
Roxanne run it back. Tiffany, Roxanne. Shoot. Those are only two I can think of. Literally.
I can definitely see them being the biggest potentials, but I think we're missing out on one particular bitch yet to make an in-ring debut.
See, I didn't even think about her.
Yay,
you know, a former longest reigning, TBS champ over in AEW. Went undefeated for quite a bit.
And now it's going to catch a test cam with Natalya and Tyson Kidd in Heart Dungeon 2.
Which she's already learned her training skills from Brian. Then you add Natalya and Tyson Kidd added to that arsenal of wrestling style too. Sheesh.
That's a hell of a foundation.
Literally.
Oh my gosh. I look at the women's roster on NXT though. I also can think about those that were involved with the Iron Survivor Challenge pad there at Deadline that have really made a presence name for themselves. Don Henley, the former Tessa Price that we all knew from AEW Dark, Courts Independent Talent out of the Michigan area here. Again, JJ, like I said, your NXT is a lot better than what it used to be, but the women's division is where you're most thriving, and that's where it's got most of my attention. Respect. So yeah, I can see her being involved in it. As much as I hate this woman's on my screen, she is a legit powerhouse. I can't argue that. Lash Legend. She is a freaking physical force to be reckoned with, though. At the end of the day, man, you don't have to like a character, but you can't deny in-ring prowess.
Ain't she part of the metaphor?
Unfortunately, that's the one caveat I can't stand. Speaking of power, I think Nikita Lyons has had long enough tenure.
See, I didn't even think about Nikita.
Because she just came back from industry.
Right.
Injury too, but again, she has a bright upside to her, and I know she's also high in the WWE up. So that's another one there. I can see Blair Davenport, who's been making opportunities
the former
for
Bria Priestley
tenure down there. Yeah, of course. Shout out to the Bow Down to the Queens, of course. Former member of Queen's Quest in Stardom. It'd be weird to see Kamille show up in this capacity. But then again, it kind of
AJ Styles with 2016, so I wouldn't be surprised.
And Royal Rumble is where you make a first impression, what the fuck, out of nowhere appearance, and then you see if it leads to something for longevity. So I kind of can't rule her out. I really can't. And she hasn't done really anything since, I think, Kenzie Page.
Hold up. I just thought of somebody too.
What?
I'm amazing.
Oh, that's right. Because spoiler alert, folks. after her match, she gave what felt like a thank you, goodbye speech. As Trinity found her glow, made a point to herself, the proof was there. It was worth the risk. And as we've seen so many times in the legacy of TNA, you come here to find yourself and find confidence in yourself to pursue or return to previous bigger challenges. You're definitely right. I can see Trinity coming back. And it's in Florida. It's in freaking Florida. Yep. Yep. You're absolutely right. She absolutely could be one of those.
And there have been reports that she's expected to come back.
And Triple H will welcome her with open arms because at the end of the day, Trinity did not walk out on Triple H. Trinity walked down on Vince McMahon.
Yep. Sure did.
People power. Oh, good God almighty. Thank Christ that's no longer associated. So yeah, I'm just trying to think of also other ones there too, because again, you look at the women's roster, Maxine's going to be involved in it, obviously. Valhalla, weird character. Definitely going to be involved in it. Ivy Nile, she's a force to be reckoned with. Definitely could be involved in it. SmackDown, Bianca Belair, duh. Shotzi Blackheart, Selena Vega, Meacham, and I feel Meacham right now needs to really prove something. Not just AJ Styles to herself, but AJ just kind of dismissed her. Damn.
Yeah.
And pretty much every woman that Triple H has turned into a tag team.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, there's like 6 or 7 different tag teams across the 3 brands. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, again, if nothing else, at least this Women's Royal Rumble could be focused pretty much almost completely internally with current talent or developing talent. And that's a very bright thing to see.
It really is, especially with the women. It really is.
But yeah, at this point, the winner of the Royal Rumble, it's got to be either Bayley or Becky.
Yeah, it's the most obvious because they have stories behind it.
For both titles, period.
Yep.
I mean, the only other one that would just be out of nowhere, but finally run it moment, Bianca Belair. Because Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley hasn't happened yet either.
That too. And she was, by the numbers, promoted, by the numbers from WWE when watching Raw. She could be the first 2-time winner.
Yep, and also, she main evented WrestleMania 37. She won. She wrestled the man Becky Lynch at 38. She won. She wrestled Asuka at 39. She won. All 3 of those matches was for championship gold. And her and Rhea Ripley are former NXT children of Triple H.
Yep.
Remember that summit? It was Belair, it was Rhea Ripley, and there was Raquel Rodriguez. Each one holding a title for all 3 brands. Belair and Ripley has yet to happen.
Yep. It has. And it was teased. It was teased at one point.
During the Vince era.
I'm glad the old man's gone.
But at least out of the pen and paper chair.
Yeah.
He's not going to be gone out of that business chair. He's going to be
there. No, he's going to die behind that chair.
Richer than ever.
Literally.
Good Lord almighty. What a fixation in life. But yeah, at this point, it's Becky, it's Bayley, it's Bianca. It's nobody else for me.
Yep. Bianca's really the wild card.
Well, I mean, what's the biggest wild card you can throw at me in WWE to challenge Rhea Ripley or Io Sky at WrestleMania? Try me.
Bianca, but that's the only thing I can think of.
It's not really wild if it's internal.
Well, that's true. Sure.
There you go. Logan Paul. Do you see Logan Paul losing the United States Championship?
No. As much as I respect KO, he's not losing. They're going to keep this. You said it yourself. Branding. He's got the I'm Impulsive, podcast. And, of course, if I do see where this is going, it's going to be Logan Paul walking into WrestleMania and then LA Knight. And then LA Knight going to take the title off of him.
I mean, I guess that's a cool moment, but also Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, they won't be too far behind. They got bad blood coming on.
Austin Theory with that Carmelo Hayes match. Yeesh.
That was terrifying.
Austin Theory should be counting his blessings.
Amen to that, brother. All right, let's go ahead and get to the real reason that we're here to discuss this show tonight. What's the story? Not finish the story. What is the story? Drew McIntyre, the guy that led in front of nobody, seeking the moment in front of everybody, but for himself. Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in this company's history, where he has proven since the Miz 2016 that this title can be sacred. Now looks to go to the top echelon as previous Intercontinental Champion should. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship, warning but honoring Seth freaking Rollins' resolve and his run. And he was last year's Iron Man, the Iron Man. Fuck Saudi Arabia, the Iron Man in Royal Rumble history. And then you have CM Punk, the man that has done everything possible in this industry except one thing. Main event WrestleMania. And that is his number one mission statement. Nothing else, no one else, nothing else with it. Main event WrestleMania. And there's only one way he could do that. Winning for the first time ever in his career, the Royal Rumble. And then you have the man on the cover of W2K24, which you could also pre-order very soon, folks, by the way. The guy that we hoped would finish his story last year and failed, and has become a meme and a TikTok since. Now looking to make it 2 years in a row at the Royal Rumble, but this time at 40, finish what was not told. Will Cody Rhodes finish the story? King, it's all on you, man. I know I said 3, but again, we keep it simple here tonight. The definitive winner, the man whose name will be first on the marquee, more likely alongside, let's be honest here, Seth friggin' Rollins, based on what we're seeing here out of most of these Roman participants, but I'll put Roman there too, even though Brett.
Yeah.
Who do you have, in your opinion, as your top ballot pick to win this year's men's Royal Rumble match, and what awaits them?
Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm like in an interrogation room when you ask that question, and it's like the white beam spotlight is put upon my face because of how tough a question that is.
Yeah, and when was the last time it was this tough to answer that question?
It's been a long time.
Damn right.
Now, man, my top ballot winner. This can go either way, and I like that. I like how Triple H has made this dynamic that it can go either way with 4 of these men.
Your top 4 candidates, to be perfectly honest.
But if I have to choose one winner, my top prediction, it's going to be the man that joined Stone Cold to basically win multiple Rumbles. It's Cody. It's Cody. I mean, come on now. It's obvious. He's got the cover of 2K. We talked about branding earlier. He's got the cover of 2K. Congratulations to Cody on that. I'm very proud of you. I respect that.
Respect.
That is one step closer to finishing your story as far as a branding standpoint. It's Cody. It's Cody. It's got to be. I'll be surprised if it's not. Because, like, Punk can win his too, as well. Go after Seth, but we don't know about Seth. Seth was on, I think, Daniel Cormier's podcast earlier today. I was getting ready to touch on that. He says that he wants to get basically becoming full 100% within a month with that partial MCL and partial torn meniscus. When I saw that, and when I heard that, I was like, dude, a partial MCL tear and a partial torn meniscus. know how long of a recovery time that is. You say you want to be back within a month? Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Though, you gotta be again, man. This business causes people to do very crazy and some would say foolish things. It's WrestleMania. More importantly, it's WrestleMania 40. You don't work tirelessly year round to lose out on this one night on your biggest opportunity at the risk of a long-term injury. If Seth is willing to pay the price of what's to come after just to walk in on this stage and have that moment, I can't fault him for it.
I can't neither. So if he wants to take that paycheck, which is the biggest paycheck that you will ever receive in your career, and plus the fact that it's I'm pretty sure it's said once, and I'm gonna say it again. It is the Super Bowl of wrestling, period, bar none.
No argument.
So
it may be sports entertainment, but you literally hit the nail on the head.
It is what it is. But back to the top ballot, it's Cody. If Punk wins it, I won't be surprised as much, but it'll catch me off guard just a little bit. But that means you extending Cody to basically, okay, you're not going to finish, you're not going to get your spot just yet, but you'll earn it at Elimination Chamber. And then you'll face Roman if he doesn't win the Rumble on Saturday.
So that just begs the question. You do think the way they should go definitively is Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, not Roman Reigns versus The Rock?
No. It's basically, yes. I want Roman and Cody to run it back. I do want to see Cody finish his story. I do want to see that because WrestleMania 39, let's face it, I even called it in my head. I said, with Vince McMahon back in power somewhat, and of course he got the Endeavor deal, I was like, Roman's going to win it. The signs were there from a business standpoint. The signs were on the wall. Signs were there.
So fucking much.
Like, I was like, there's no way. I was like, yep, he's not finishing it. He's not finishing at WrestleMania 39. He wasn't going to finish it. Vince McMahon back in power and part of the Endeavor, got that merger. Nick Khan still controlled, but Vince McMahon controlling all the strings. That therefore, from a main event standpoint, he wasn't going to finish the story. Signs were over the wall. But now, with a Vince McMahon free, Triple H fully forced in power, in creative, Cody's finishing his story, and I will be darned. As much as he's my childhood hero, my childhood idol since '97, I like Dwayne. Respect Dwayne. Dwayne has given me that charisma as you see today.
Yes.
From a child standpoint all the way up to a 29-year-old. I do not, and I repeat, I do not want to see him intervene in this. I do not. And if somehow, some way, Roman retains, and I swear before everything in my life, if he retains, I might join you. And I'm going to stop watching WWE. I will unsubscribe WWE from my YouTube. Bar none.
Well, like I said, I'll still probably keep up NXT because I love the women's division, and Ilya Dragunov is the champion, but I digress.
Because it's like, how much longer do we have to wait for Rock and Roman? Seriously, how much longer do we have to wait if Roman retains?
And honestly, is it worth the wait at this point? Because again, is The Rock in ring capable? Let's not forget the last time he was in ring, he fucking nearly tore his own pectoral against John Cena.
WrestleMania 29, wasn't it?
Your follow-up.
Yep. The follow, which why I even had a follow-up to begin with. But of course, it was the Vince McMahon era at the time.
John Cena comeback story. And you do wonder if The Rock has any bad blood, kayfabe or not, with Cody Rhodes, considering how the John Cena escapade started in the first place. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they even had a conversation about it too. So, I forgot to mention that.
And what did Triple H say? The story is never finished. Oh, Lord, this might be a never-ending story, and I'm not even singing the song from the movie or the DDR
And
remix.
there were reports of it close to Triple H. I don't know if from Sports Illustrated that, you know, sources close to Triple H, even though Russell Motes followed up on it and said it was a little bit naive. But the original report, which I don't believe, but if it's true, yeah, that Triple H said that we're not even into the 5th inning of Cody's story. Like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but if he doesn't beat Roman, it might be right.
God help us.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Cody, please, for my sake and for my sanity, win the Rumble, finish the story, and let's move on.
I will freaking lose my. I will have the greatest amount of freaking excitement and approval. I will watch WWE Raw and SmackDown following WrestleMania if Roman loses the title. It needs to stop. We need the title back on Friday nights, as long as they're on, you know, the freaking SmackDown network or whatever. You need a constant singles title to pursue on SmackDown. You need the top prize. And
yes, you do.
Maybe that means Cody goes to SmackDown. Okay, so what? You got CM Punk. Seriously, do you need that much power on one show? If Roman Reigns wants to take time off, well, it's not like he's already been doing this favorite time as it is. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, it's just baffling to me of how long this has fucking been. And look, I'm torn. Thinking about just one person. So I'm just going to give a different aspect because, again, I'm not about redundancy. You basically took the words of my mouth regarding Cody. But if it's not Cody against Roman, then you got to look at the Raw side of things. At the end of the day, the rest participants, they are Raw eccentric. And what's the other big marquee money match yet to really be fully brought to the forefront? Not even teased yet. Why Gunther deserves to be the World Heavyweight Champion. It's WrestleMania. It's branding. It's money marketing. The second biggest match you could have on this card is Seth and Rollins versus CM Punk. Let's be honest.
And the history is there.
Yep. And kayfabe or not, remember, how did CM Punk come in last year in Chicago? Hi, Seth. Fuck you. And, of course, we saw the subtle teasers and how much he has disapproved of this with Adam Pearce, how CM Punk says that Seth Rollins can stop it for the Royal Rumble, and why Seth and Punk have not had a face-to-face altercation for a period of time, with the fact that Seth would know that he's working towards a match with CM Punk to literally shut the straight edge superstar up. Imagine the amount of promos, pipe bombs, cross over into realism, possibly blurring the lines between shoot and work promos we could get from Seth Rollins for CM Punk. In my opinion, I think CM Punk, and also he's never won it, he came back for this one reason for it. If CM Punk doesn't win the Royal Rumble, why does CM Punk come back in the first place? What does CM Punk come back for if he doesn't get his main event at WrestleMania? Period. All he's talking about since coming back, main event of WrestleMania, main event of WrestleMania, main event of WrestleMania.
But this is also the same CM Punk who, kind of cut that promo in AEW at the time about to MJF, like about WrestleMania, and just gonna leave it at that.
Look, it is what it is. When you start in the WWE system, when you get to the WWE system, when you think you can make it in the WWE system, you are forever defined by the WWE system, or you believe you should be forever defined by the WWE system when it comes to the tail end of your career. CM Punk is here to stay as long as he stays on his best behavior. And I think you're going to continue that. You give him the one caveat you put in his contract. You give him the WrestleMania main event. I think CM Punk wins it. And I think we get CM Punk finally one-on-one with Seth freaking Rollins for the title. And you finally give Seth the time off. You finally give these two the biggest payday of their lives. And you finally give CM Punk his moment. Now, as far as the title, afterthought. But that's the thing. I don't think CM Punk and Seth Rollins needs the title. And since Damian Priest is an idiot that can't cash in successfully.
Seriously.
Golly, man. It's almost like the Money in the Bank briefcase is absolutely afterthought at this point.
He's the worst Money in the Bank holder since Austin Theory.
Damn. Well, I wasn't freaking that harsh, but ouch. At least he's not cashing in on a mid-card title.
That's the point.
Well, yeah, I guess Austin Theory was also successful quickly in doing it, too. So, I mean, yeah. And, yeah, I do think Judgment Day ends this year, too, as far as we know it, because the most dominant force in it is Rhea Ripley. And
R-Truth is the one about to break it all up. Who would have thought?
R-Truth breaks anything up worse than Steiner Math and Toru Yano.
I can't believe you just said that.
Am I wrong?
You're not.
No, tell me if I'm telling lies. Well, bottom line, this Rumble is definitely one to feast our eyes upon with the different stories that could be either teased, started, or officially unfold in the result yet to be foretold. But that being said, that's all we got for now on this first review of 2024. Thank you all for tuning in. Been an absolute pleasure. King of pleasure as always. Again, smart, structured, fun, sounded. Ha, Eric. 2 hours and 5 minutes. No but love to you, brother, but seriously.
Always, brother.
You are a nuisance. And again,
yeah, you are.
Shout out to the entire, we love you for it. Shout out to the entire W crew again, folks. I always enforce the same rules, the same principles. I always preach the same mantra as always. There are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect equality too. Treasure your families and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. On behalf of the entire AEW fan, AEW crew, we thank you for tuning in to the first of maybe a monthly standard now. AEW Impromptu. We'll see you on the other side of Royal Rumble as the road to WrestleMania is sure to continue. And the landscape of the professional industry and the sports entertainment world continues to be founded, laid, paved, shaped, and literally blueprinted as we make our way through 2024. But until next time, as always, make a positive impact in life. Share the entire play if you haven't already. Please follow Mary J on all the social medias. Follow the entire ACW crew on all the social medias. We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in and have a good night. For we are ATW. King, been a pleasure. Have a good night, folks. We'll see you on the other side of the Royal Rumble some point in February ahead of Elimination Chamber. Have a good night, folks.
Have a good night.
Good God Almighty. This weekend's going to kill me.
Kill you. Yeah, it is for me too.
Well, you're not the one calling this madness. I am. And I'm secretly going to be watching Collision during at least a couple of the matches. Guarantee you.
Collision got my attention, but 2 Rumble matches got mine.
Yeah, it's the beauty and the downfall of being a professional wrestling fan and sports entertainment enthusiast, damn it. Like I said, it is what it is in this game we call professional wrestling, damn it! It's sports.
There it is.
Entertainment. Simple as that. I had to do it. Good night, folks.